their rule proposal. In the updated language, it says offensive players cannot assist the runner except by individually blocking opponent's form. The Packers also eliminated immediately at the snap in the updated language. NFL owners decided to table a vote on the Packers' initial proposal in April. They plan to revisit things during meetings in Minneapolis, which start today and wraps up tomorrow. NBA playoffs tonight, Western Conference Final Game 1. The Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Oak City finished the regular season with the best record in the league at 68-14. Wednesday night, Eastern Conference Final Game 1. The Knicks playing host to the Pacers. The NHL Eastern Conference Final gets underway tonight with the Carolina Hurricanes playing host to the Florida Panthers. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
You don't have to sink a 30-footer from the end of your driveway to come out of the NBA playoffs smelling like a rose. SportsGrid brings you all the angles, insights, and odds.
And more to make you a winner.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The only place in football where the offense is always on the field is on Moneyline, with the two best hosts in radio, Donnie Rightside.
If anybody wasn't watching, listen, I don't know what you were doing.
And Kevin Walsh.
Forget act like you've been there before.
On the SportsGrid Radio Network, SiriusXM Channel 159.
Best hour every day officially underway. It is Moneyline. It's what we do. It's the best hour of your day. We're ready to rock and roll. It's SiriusXM Channel 159, SportsGrid Network. It's Donnie, it's Kevin. And the hot topics continue to flow through, which, Kevin, we will set the table today for the people. Western Conference Finals begins tonight. And hockey, if you're down with that, Eastern Conference Finals begins tonight. But also, there is a group of meetings, Kevin, between owners in a certain National Football League that might vote to change the way some football is played out here. So why don't we first start with that? We're not expected today to get word back on if the tush push is going to be banned or not. But other interesting topics are on the docket, Kevin, which includes the ones that we talked about yesterday, which will be voted on. Oh, boy, if you have 15 wins, you should automatically get this and that, even if you don't win your division. The NFL is trying to change the way they do business, Kevin.
Yeah, I went and saw, I think it was Ian Rappaport's write-up, Donnie, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. No expectation that that's going to pass. I think the league knows it's outrageous.
Really? Oh,
I
wasn't sure if was going to pass the other day. I was getting nervous.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to do this where it doesn't seem like I'm attacking Warren Sharp.
Come on, go attack him. Why not? Do it.
Well, I mean, listen, I just think a massive swing and a miss that, put us, in the worry box that we didn't want to be in or need to be in.
Yep.
I was quite stressed out even post-show. The thing that was funny is even in the breakdown from, again, I believe it was a Rappaport article. It was just like, yeah, the league is aware that if they throw too many changes at once, it's going to be really unsettling. So it's just one of those things, like the league knows it will be ridiculous. Now they've tossed it out there. People will think on it, but I don't think this will ever pass. It's just like one of my favorite examples, and Donnie, used to talk about it all the time. The COVID year where they're like, should we have neutral site conference championship games? Everyone went, nope, dumbest thing we've ever heard. And the NFL's never brought it up again.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you said that. And shout out to people in the chat box already getting after it in the business. Rye Cape's out there, Jordan's out there, Kristen's out there, Darren, Aaron, and Go Fast Troy. I'm so glad you brought that up. because the NFL, it's apparent, like it's always just about money. And sometimes not even about like the health of the league at some point. But that was a real thing, Kevin. They were going to take the most passionate fan bases in the biggest moments where that city's Super Bowl. And I've been to multiple NFC championship games. I've never been to a Super Bowl, which I'm sure is great. But to have your own personal championship game with your own fan base, family, friends in the stands, it is such a wonderful experience. And they were going to say, like, we can make an extra few $1 million if we put Eagles and Commanders in Indianapolis. Like, you have got to be kidding me that was even on the table. But I think maybe that was a little bit of, we're just going to crowdsource this just to see how it goes over. And it was such a thud. Like, people would have really liked that. Like, absolutely not at this point. But also, looking at what they're going to be talking about and how the Green Bay Packers, Kevin, have changed the wording on like some things that you can get through. But understand this. It's not 50-50. Like, if you want to change a guideline in the NFL, 24 out of the 32 teams have to vote to change that, Kevin. I don't think we're going to get that in the even though the commission's like, we need to have this, the optics are bad. Can they flip like 8 or 9 franchises over to the like ban the tush push side just because the commissioner wants it?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be close, and the fact that it's going to be close has people thinking it's going to be yes.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, I don't know. I just think everyone's analysis on the tush push is so bad. Like, people are like, oh, like, it's bad to watch. Like, that's not true. Like, you can hear it in the announcers. Like, every time the tush push is about to happen, they go, oh, tush push time. Like,
yeah,
it's a thing to watch. I don't know, man. People are, again, I really do think the swing of this whole thing is the Eagles won the Super Bowl. The Bills fell all over themselves. And you add those things, and people went, okay, we got to get rid of this. I just wish people would acknowledge you can't be dumb enough to try and tell people that the banning of the tush push coming after the Eagles win the Super Bowl is a coincidence. You cannot be foolish enough to think that you can make that argument. That had the Eagles been eliminated by the Packers, like so many people were predicting, that the Packers would then be pushing this through to the degree to which they are, because they just wouldn't be.
Now, also, like on the opposite side of it, too, like if they do ban it, which, again, as an Eagles fan, you look at it, that's one of the plays that they like to use. The Eagles are going to be so wildly successful on the quarterback sneak as is because of their offensive line, center guard, center combination, and Jalen Hurts, who's an absolutely machine moving the pile. But also, like, are then we going to get, Kevin, the exact opposite, that it's going to happen? I'm like, wait a second now. You're telling me that defenders actually can't be in the neutral zone? So now when you snap the football, you're automatically a foot to foot, 2 feet advantage for the offense, and they automatically get the first down anyway? Like, because the thing I get a kick out of was they would line up, Kevin, and you were able to butt helmets with the center on defense. Because, like, hey, the rugby play, I don't know how else to call this at this point. So at least to get it down. But today and tomorrow is supposed to be the day, Kevin, where they actually vote on the tush push to see if it's going to go in or out. But there's some other things that are like on the docket where it's like, all right, well, are we going to change things up or do things differently here? Which, again, is we talked about I'm glad even Rappaport's clearing that up. I don't want change in the NFL. Like, you know, sometimes the players don't even know in the Super Bowl what the overtime rules are. Like, that's when you know it's getting out of whack. We don't know what a catch is because it can be relayed by different people at different times and what they feel. Nobody likes that. Nobody's going to like to say, like, hey, you know what? Division, yeah, you get in the playoffs, but you don't get the home game. That's the ultimate. Like, you win your division, you should get a prize for that. That is a home game. And nobody's ever said, like, I can't even believe they're hosting this game, because when we've said that in the past, I'm like, you believe New Orleans has to go and play Seattle, that terrible Seattle team? Yeah, Seattle smacked New Orleans in that playoff game. So good luck with that argument where they don't belong in the playoffs or certainly can't win or should get blown out here. But Kevin, have you heard here? Also coming up is the fact that they might change the onside kick again. Have you been hearing about that at all?
To go back the other way where it might actually have a chance, or are we going to go even further where actually what we're going to do is onside kick and only the kicker's on the field? So like, what are we doing?
I'm worried about where we're all going with this, because the NFL clearly is like, hey, we had an onside kick that was kind of entertaining for 50 years, but one guy got a concussion out of the 7,000 attempts. We can't have that anymore. We got to take it away. So they made it where it's almost impossible, which, Kevin, to be honest, I love that. If I am a football team that played well the whole game, I shouldn't lose it on an onside kick. But it was part of the game in the past. But also, if you handicap the game correctly, like, hey, man, I got minus 3.5 here, plus 3.5. The game's at 3. Oh no, here comes the onside kick, and the other team. You see what I mean? Like, I don't like that at all. But now they're saying, well, we want to try to increase it. So right now you're 10 yards apart. They're trying to move it 1 yard in, Kevin, to 9 yards, which I guess would give you an easier chance to get down the field to catch it. But here's my theory behind this. And in the next segment, we'll get into what I hope doesn't happen. But if we're worried about, Kevin, like the kickoffs itself, right? We can't have athletes 200 pounds plus, Kevin, running 4.40s down the field and smashing into each other. Like, that leads to concussions. And it's right. They're right about that. That's a dangerous play, technically, if it goes as planned. Like the wedge breakers used to have, where they would run full speed and toss themselves like a spear head first in to break up that. You can't do that. But if we're so worried about, like, momentum, Kevin, on an onside kick, why can't you just line up all 11, or actually it would be 10 players because the kicker's out there kicking himself, going up against, let's just say 10 players to 11 players on defense? Why can't they be lined up, Kevin, like 5 yards apart? Because there's no collision really at that point. And that would sort of even the playing field if you wanted to do it that direction. Like, why not line them up 1 yard apart? We have to wait till the ball goes across the line. You see where I'm going? Like, you don't have that, let's run 15 yards and a full speed collision into each other. But 1 yard, they're saying, might make a difference in the percentages. And that's what they're going to vote on and probably pass, it looks like.
Here's the very simple thing.
Yes.
Remove your egos. And when you do these votes, don't worry about the tush push. Be like, man, we've been putting in some dumb stuff when it comes to kicking. Put the extra point back where it belongs and go back to the old onside kick rules.
How about that? A lot of people at the SportsGrid Network engaged over the past year. Do we have another engagement coming, Kevin?
Ooh. Whoa! Whoa!
Boys of summer have returned and taken the field for the great American pastime.
You should monetize that.
Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. This update brought to you by Sky Rizzi. Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver is being charged with assault after a skirmish with federal officers outside of an immigration detention center. New Jersey's top federal prosecutor also announced that she was dropping a trespassing case against the Newark mayor, whose arrest led to the disturbance. Interim U.S. Attorney Alina Haba wrote on social media that McIver is facing a charge of assaulting, impeding, or interfering with law enforcement. Guy Bartkus, the lone suspect in a fatal car bombing that took place outside of a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California, appears to have operated multiple social media accounts where he posted videos of homemade explosive devices and messages pointing to his plans. The fertility clinic near the blast, the American Reproductive Centers of Palm Springs, said in a statement that its staff members, as well as eggs, embryos, and reproductive materials, were unharmed in the blast. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
You don't have to sink a 30-footer from the end of your driveway to come out of the NBA playoffs smelling like a rose. SportsGrid brings you all the angles, insights, and odds.
And more to make you a winner.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Back at it. People popping around here in the chat box. It's going flow. We got people giving out plays. And OKC tonight, minus 3.5. And Randall to go over his 19.5 points. You got the people popping out here. But also, Kevin, as I told you, we don't need names of people that got engaged at the SportsGrid Network over the past year or so. But have you heard the new engagement news that could be coming out shortly, Kevin, via social media?
Now, that would then suggest the engagement's already happened, right? And you're not going to spoil like someone's proposal here.
No, I don't think so.
I know you like to have fun. No, I didn't know. Then again, I don't know. There's a level of smile. I can't. So you got to check the Donnie smile meter to figure out what kind of game we're playing here. And I don't have a great read right now on what
I
you're
think
doing.
the read where you're probably going to is like, is he going to just pop something off on Lisi right now, like an engagement?
Yeah, that's the worry.
Like, yeah, exactly.
That's the worry.
See, that was the worry. Now, I'd love to play that off, and a lot of people believe that Joe Lisi might be getting engaged this weekend, but that's not what we're talking about. If that happens, we will let you know. But it has nothing to do with the Sports Grid Network per se, but pro football talk, Kevin. Buried in a New York Times exploration of the Bill Belichick-Jordan Hudson partnership is a claim that will spark a land rush by other outlets to confirm this. Hudson has told at least one person that she and Belichick are engaged to be married, and everybody else now is picking up on it. The Dov Klymans of the world, the Ari Miroffs, and away we go. Bill Belichick, man, is he like June 1st is coming up? He might be getting married. Does that mean he wants to coach football or no? Is he out?
It's funny. I hadn't really considered that they weren't like together forever, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just I don't know, at his age, if they're already doing this thing, it doesn't seem like he's gonna text her, "Hey, this isn't working." Like to me, so it's I get why everyone's gonna flock to it.
Yes,
but it is in no degree surprising. What a crazy thing, man. What an unbelievable thing. Do you think UNC has buyer's remorse?
Yes, I do. I do, because the buyer's remorse in this would be is like, you wanted Bill Belichick as the stalwart, right? Which, if you're thinking a high-end scenario, it's like, we get Belichick, Kevin. Same thing that would happen in Colorado. Now, win or lose, forget about it. There is going to be an avalanche of number one media, which you got to some degree. But number two, Kevin, the avalanche of superstar players in the NIL forcing their way into UNC, and you had an absolute juggernaut ready to take out, or take off, I should say. And I don't really follow college football enough to see like where the recruits are coming from, but I just look at the ACC standings on the anticipation of next year, and it's like, okay, we got Bill, but it looks like we're going to suck. And this isn't a 48-year-old Bill Belichick. Like, let's say Sean McVay went to UNC. He's like, love college. I want to be here 25 years. Like, oh boy, here we go. Like, this feels like Belichick's like, I love football. I want to be around football. This is almost the best way I can be a general manager and the head of football operations and the head coach at the same time. I can set my son up and we'll be really good. But if you get nothing like, I'm Kevin, like this season, like nothing meaning we might be playing for a bowl, I don't think NC signed up for anything of what they're getting right now.
Okay, so what they definitely could not have thought they were signing up with Bill Belichick was off-season headline about his love life on a consistent basis. Bill was the head coach of the dynasty. Yeah. We literally heard nothing. I didn't know that Belichick was like, I guess, divorced at any point during that run. I know none of it because that was Bill Belichick. Yep. So there's no way that they thought this was going to happen. Now their thought though has to be, listen, we want to be relevant, we want to be winning, and we imagine Bill Belichick will help us with that and also help with recruits. So I don't know if this year's recruiting class, we have to be able to point to a recruiting class, right? Like a look ahead thing and go, boom, the Bill Belichick effect. And if you can't, then he better be winning with whatever he has on the field, whether, it's good enough or not. But I think what's difficult is you've now seen a situation where Bills, all the off-field stuff, if they open the season 2-4, I don't know their schedule, it would be like, it's Hudson. His head's not in it. As opposed to, he's just getting to UNC, give him some time.
Yes.
Can I throw something at you with this UNC thing?
Mm-hmm.
You and I, let's just say if you and I on a Monday, like we're going to be talking NFL, right? But if you and I on a Monday are going to talk college football, how often do you think the first thing we bring up is Bill Belichick instead of the Ohio State game, the Georgia game, the Bama game?
Never.
I wonder if it's always because people just want to
maybe week one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Week two, it's kind of interesting. Oh, look, he's on the sideline, and did they play well? And what was his mannerisms? And Did he wear like a torn, ripped hoodie on the sideline, or was he actually decked out? Like that's interesting. And then after that, it just turns into, they're 2-4. Who cares about Bill Belichick?
Well, but see, my thing is now, sometimes, Donnie, like, if a team being bad is more interesting than them being good.
Yeah. Ooh, Bill goes to college at 2-7.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're terrible.
Yeah.
This is the worst UNC season in 20 years. It's like, let me frame it another way. And you're right though, because I know how you are, and it's a great way to be. You're like I don't really care about the college football nonsense. Like, who's the best teams? That's what I'm in on. Yep. Bigger story this coming season: Bills Tar Heels or Deion's Buffaloes.
I'm going to go Bills Tar Heels.
I agree
because with Shedeur Sanders not being the quarterback, it's not to say there's no luster off the Buffaloes. Let's just say they even have a better season and with a new quarterback or whatever it is. Like they make a bowl game, win the bowl game, or a challenge for the division or conference, whatever it would be. But the luster was Deion's bringing his kids in that traveling carnival that would be around. Now it's just Deion coaching, which again is a carnival in itself, but you don't have the ringleaders with him, if that makes sense, right? It's like, hey, one kid's on defense, one kid's on offense. They're brash. They're social media heavy. They're very popular. And everywhere they go, they're going to be a sign of time. Because you can always put Deion up on the sideline, but when Shedeur Sanders is playing 75 snaps a game and is just a talking point the whole game, you don't have that now. Now it's Davis Smith, the quarterback. Okay, we'll see how he runs Deion's offense and away with it. So, the luster is a little bit off of Colorado, unless they open up 8-0, and then it's okay, let's pile on. But if you have just a good year for Colorado, I don't know. Luster might be there, but Jordan Hudson, 24 years old. Bill Belichick, 73. Getting married in Christmas? What?
That's crazy.
You're listening to Sports Grid.
Stamping out the boredom in baseball year after year. We bring you all the angles, insights, and information you need. This is the Sports Grid Radio Network.
The Sports Grid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1991, Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan is named the NBA's MVP.
Michael, I know that millions of basketball fans around the world join me in congratulating you on a great season and your second MVP award.
That season, the Bulls won their first of 6 championships under MJ. For Sports Grid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
Flying construction robots coming soon to a building site near you. Swiss researchers have found that precision flying construction robot drones, similar technology to that used to create those beautiful synchronized aerial displays, can be used to precisely position large objects, assisting construction workers at great heights. Synchronized drone swarms autonomously constructing entire buildings in remote locations, hazardous conditions, even cutting down on construction accidents. Ouch. Follow me at Capalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Sports Rage Late Night.
The Pacers are so stupid. You're up by 3. Why are you taking threes right now? There's a minute left. Like at some point, man up and just dribble the ball, pound it inside to Siakam or Turner, get fouled. There's a time where you got to be an adult and say, all right, guys, we're not just shooting threes. What are you going to shoot threes in the final second?
It's Sports Rage Late Night with Gabe Morency. Weekdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on the Sports Grid Radio Network. In baseball, a batter gets 3 strikes. In sports gaming, you get 1.
No do-overs.
You need all the help you can get. And that's what you get with us, your trusted source for gaming odds and more. This is the Sports Grid Radio Network.
Hot topics out there too, Kevin, like the San Francisco 49ers. Fred Warner, the NFL's highest paid linebacker in the history of the sport, 3 for 63. Well deserving at that point. A lot of money being spent out in San Francisco with a team that I don't think is as good, Kevin, as it was for the past 2 to 3 seasons. Their schedule's somewhat easier, looking for a good run this year. I get upset about Brock Purdy, how much money he's making, but I don't get upset about Fred Warner, how much he's making. That guy is a player, man.
Yeah, the Niners are going to be really interesting, though, because for a couple of years in a row, they entered the NFC West portion of it, looking like clearly the best team.
Yes.
The
Easy
Rams,
wins. 5
though,
easy wins.
have so much hype around them. In some spots, I think favored to win that division. I think it maybe depends when you're looking, where you're looking at that number. So I think it's one of those things that I don't think the Niners are going to be the popular pick in that division this year.
You know what's crazy?
And
like with the Rams, like you're right. Like if you're like, hey, Donnie, what do you feel about the Rams? Like, oh, they're going to be good. And like when I look at the lineup, like that's right. They got Devontae Adams. Like it's some things just slip your mind over the past like couple months with so many things happening. Like Tutu Atwell's a decent, speed guy, and he works in that offense. You got 2 dogs on the outside. Higbee's a solid tight end. Williams, one of the best running backs here. Stafford will be fine next year. Offensive line good. And maybe, Kevin, the best overall young front 7 in football, like pass rush wise for the Rams. Like, yeah, like they are going to be a hot commodity this year. Now, having said that, does that mean now they're 4-13 for Joe Lisi? Does that mean now? Is that what we're getting to?
Well, no. I think he'll be on them forever. It feels like at this point, like it's just them and the Commanders. So here's the thing with the Rams. There are certain teams where the conversation around them makes me too angry, and it feels like that's going to be the case with the Rams. I love when the Saints told themselves that they would have beat the Eagles the year the Vikings beat them. It's like that doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure the Lions have been doing it. If Hutchinson didn't get injured, we would have won the Super Bowl thing. Okay, you're immediately clowns. He was injured since like week 4. That's the what a useless debate that is. You got bombed on by the Commanders. The Rams I find annoying because I feel as if people have Men in Black memory erased the first 90% of Eagles-Rams in the second round of the NFC playoffs. The game was over. The game was absolutely over. And then prevent defense paired with Hurts' knee not working and an insane decision to consider throwing the football led to the Rams having an opportunity in a game that was absolutely over. Like we do all these things where it's like, Rams should have beat the Eagles. No. If the Rams beat the Eagles, it would have been one of the all-time collapses in the history of football, and everyone would have been fired. Instead, we're doing this thing where it's like, man, that was an unreal classic back-and-forth blows. Like, Matt Stafford couldn't even hold on to the football. So, again, that Rams team annoys me, quite frankly. As, McVay goes on McAfee's like, yeah, it keeps me up at night. We didn't get that one. Like, brother, it should keep you up at night that you couldn't stop Saquon Barkley over the 120 minutes that you played him over the course of the season.
Yeah, no, I still like have a flashback to me sitting on the edge of my seat going like, I hope the Rams score quick so we at least have 18 seconds to counter this. Oh my goodness, man. Thank goodness for a big defensive tackle making a big play at a big moment there to save the Eagles season. But I'm looking forward to the NFL. Like we are so close already, which is why, again, the owners' meetings that we're talking about, that adding interest here of what's going to take place and not. Now, granted, it looks like they are going to have the Olympics and the flag footballs there. I'm over that at this point, and that's not for another 3 to 4 years down the road. But we are getting close. Nick Sirianni got a big-time contract here. You know what? The narrative is so interesting on Nick Sirianni, because if you look at just the time he's been in the NFL, and your tweet was really hitting, because most people will think like, hey, Nick Sirianni should have got fired last year. Bill Belichick was going to be the head coach, and a lot of Eagles fans and national media were thinking that way. Like, this guy just, he's a CEO coach, but Howie's the guy pulling the strings and all that stuff. Remove all of that here. His first 4 years at the NFL as a trajectory point. Like if he coaches for like another 10 years, like where does he wind up? He's with a good organization now. I'm not saying like he's going to get fired like Andy Reid and go to another organization and continue to win, but just at the trajectory of a guy that's 4 years in, 4 playoff runs, 2 trips to a Super Bowl, 1 Lombardi, and another good team coming back this year. Like where he's in that evolution. Because people want to hate him like, he's the worst coach in the NFL, bottom 5. You look at the statistic, Kevin, and we'll get your take on this after the break. I'd say it could be a Hall of Famer.
the angles to make sure you win a little something something. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. The NHL Eastern Conference Final gets underway tonight with the Carolina Hurricanes playing host to the Florida Panthers. Florida's the defending Stanley Cup champion. It's their third consecutive conference final and a rematch of the 2023 Eastern Conference Final, which Florida swept in 4 games over Carolina. The Panthers routed the Maple Leafs 6-1 on Sunday in Game 7 to advance. Carolina's been off since last Thursday when they beat the Capitals 3-1 to sweep that series in 5 games. The Western Conference Final starts tomorrow with Dallas playing host to Edmonton. NBA playoffs tonight, Western Conference Final Game 1. The Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Oak City finished the regular season with the best record in the league at 68-14. Wednesday night, Eastern Conference Final Game 1. The Knicks playing host to the Pacers. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Lowe's knows how to bring the heat with Memorial Day savings. Right now, select paint, primer, and stains or buy one, get one 50% off via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets for just $20. Shop these Memorial Day deals before they're gone. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/28. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Let's keep it real.
Baseball
can be boring. That's where SportsGrid comes in.
Nothing livens up those 9 innings like sports gaming. You might experience something you've never felt in a baseball game, a quickened pulse. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Oh, yeah, right back at it. By the way, we're going to flip over to some topics then, which include the NBA, maybe look at little Major League Baseball cards, some activity with the New York Mets surrounding their Juan Soto situation, if you will. But, Kevin, you had a point here on the Olympics coming up in 2028?
Yeah, and I'll just, to your Sirianni thing, by the way.
Yes,
people are lying to themselves. Someone yesterday responded with a list of 10 coaches, maybe better. The first 4 names were Reed, McVay, Harbaugh, Tomlin, who Nick Sirianni went a smooth 4-0 against last year. So let's just put that in the back pocket.
Okay.
My question on the Olympics, and I think you are an excellent opening gauge. So one of the rules that they're going to put forward is only 1 guy per team. And I think there's going to be some protections because very clearly you're going to see I think they are worried about some people going, no, you're not taking my best guy over to LA during training camp. So do you, as an Eagle fan, if I told you Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for the flag team, go,
oh my
what? Love that for my guy. I know the answer to this question I'm asking. Or would you much rather give me the Jalen Hurts was slighted stuff and keep all of my Eagles away from the Olympics, please?
Yeah, let me see. So we'll go, this is 2028 Olympics, right? So we'll go 2028 Olympic. Let me see. I want to go dates. Let me just see what comes up here. Because it's all right. So it looks like the 2028 Summer Olympics are Friday, July 14th.
Yeah.
To Sunday, July 30th, which is interesting. Now, if the Olympics are smart, which I know they will, and they want superstars if they get them, opening day of the Olympics, Kevin, is flag football. Like that flag football tournament is the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and that's it. They can't have it later because I never even thought about the possibility where it's like, okay, the Summer Olympics where you might be pulling these guys out of training camp, which is mad. And hey, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the quarterback. Andy Reid's going to love him being away 5 days in training camp to play Olympic flag football. That's interesting. Like, who would Because I know some of the players like, hey, I would love to be there and do this because it's Olympics, get Olympic gold medal. It's hard to get Olympic gold medal, even though it's a stupid competition and a forced one. It's still an Olympics and Olympic gold medal. Good for your branding per se, where you get that extra worldwide visibility. But that is such a good point. Like, yes, only one player per team, but like, hey, A.J. Brown is out of camp for 5 days at the Olympics. That's not going to go over well. And also,
yeah,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to just add, right? Yeah. Like, there's this other thing is like permission for any player under contract to participate. Mm-hmm. So I guess then it would be up to the players, but then they'll have to decide. Here's the deal, though. There's no way Mahomes, Burrow, and Lamar are going to step on that field and be like, I want to give it a shot. Hopefully I beat my guy out. Like, you are going to have to just promise people spots or they are not showing up.
No open camp.
Thing. No shot.
Like Justin Jefferson shows up like, kid, I don't know if you got what it takes to be a flag football star. We're going to take Lad McConkey, pal.
Yeah. A little bit crisper here on this Tuesday. Sorry, Justin. It's like, explain yourself. So that looks weird. Also, there's another thing here. Now, this will drive you crazy. It says in just the bullet points, allowing, in addition, a team's designated international player to play for his home country. Now, I don't know how many guys
Embiid,
on teams
French Canadian Embiid. Yeah, come on.
Yes, like I am now wondering if somehow Tyreek Hill is told actually like we're good. Does Tyreek Hill then apply for Italian citizenship and end up on Italy in the Olympic flag football team? Like is that what we're
Yes, we are
pushing towards?
You are correct. Where we are going to have a flag football championship where Team Japan is all NFL, like, white guys or something like that. Like they were able to force their way in, and Japan was fine with it. That's where it's going. Tunisia's out here with the baddest wide receiving crew you can find from Georgia. You know what I mean? Like that is where we're going. That's I'm so glad you brought that topic up because that still gets me like, hey, Embiid's going to play for the Bahamas. How? What do you mean he's playing for the Bahamas? You know what I mean? Like, backup plans. Like, hey, if it doesn't work out for Team USA, I'll put in this flyer and I'll go play for Team Italy. Like, because my great uncle married somebody from Italy. And Italy's like, yes, that counts. That's citizenship right there at this point. That counts.
This is going to be a real fascinating thing, man. I'm telling you, because I think they are going to have to. I imagine you're also going to carry two quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
So, like, who's agreeing to be QB2 on this thing? Like, are we going to have a thing, Donnie, where it's like Mahomes and Kenny Pickett? Yes. Or is it like going to be Mahomes and Burrow?
No, it's got to be superstar. Like the first, like the
Burrow's
initial
be happy
dream
to not
team
play.
Was like a bunch of bums, but they will play though because they're supposed to slaughter everybody, so they're going to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This flag
I want to win this. I want to win that.
Is weird, man.
It is. Now that you put the dates into it, like, oh, they'll play. It's like, wait, again, like your fan base would be like, let me get something straight. Jalen Hurts isn't practicing with our team. He's gone 6 days in LA to go get a gold medal in some pseudo sport. And then he comes back like a bad rusted training camp. Oh my God. Like, there's ways you can do this. And there's ways
bad
to
week
be horrible. Yes, correct. Played over there. Like Joel Embiid, like, hey man, gold medal for me. Yeah, how'd your season go, Joel? You put everything into that. Now, granted, I don't know how much you have to put in the flag football, but I'm sure there's going to be fake training camps. They don't just show up in LA. I'm like, hey guys, dap it up on a Monday. We're playing on a Tuesday. Like you got to have organized workouts.
I'll tell you this right now. You might get live footage from Donnie himself in LA checking the surface they play on.
Oh,
because if we find out we've got dangerous surfaces,
man,
like
they're lucky it's in America. They are.
Donnie, I don't know. The more you talk this thing out, my interest has gone from this will be really cool to watch the best players out there to this sounds crazy, and I don't actually know who's going to even participate in this.
Again, Justin Jefferson, and we're not even talking about football season, Kevin. Like these guys are ramping up for football. Flag football, if anybody doesn't know, if you watch it, it's built on speed, getting in and out of your cuts, and being extremely fast. Hey, Justin Jefferson just tore his hamstring. I hope he's down till week 9. Because he did what? He played in a flag football. That's probably not going to. By the way, flag football, Kevin, will be in this Olympics. Probably will never show up again because the United States gets to put extra things in. Like, what other country is going to have flag football? Like, again, in the Olympics, like, we have breakdancing in the Olympics. Enough with this stuff. We don't need them there. Like, if there's like the winter, like, put the football players on ice in the winter. Like, hey, it's their all season anyway in February. No big deal.
The thing is, Donnie, like, the Olympics will gladly accept flag football year in and year or every 4 years if they're going to get NFL players. Yes. Yeah. If you're going to get these megastars, like, Donnie,
there's no comp though. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the Summer Olympics so much because the men's basketball team was superstars, but they were playing, Kevin, legitimate competition that you could really enjoy. Like 1992 when I was a kid was exciting because we'd never seen that before. They beat everybody about 100 points, but it was still fun because we haven't seen it. But the world's getting better at basketball where now we go back. It's like, hey, man, we are in like LeBron James and Devin. Like we are in brawls here. That's so much fun to watch. The same thing when the NHL goes and says, hey, guys, you can play for your home countries. It's phenomenal. But you don't have that in football. You just don't.
But that's the thing. I think the idea, Donnie, is this will be the dream team, right? Like in 20 years from now, okay, you'll be on air. And you'll be telling people how the greatest flag team ever was the 2028 flag team. And some kid will be like, you kidding me? They get cooked by the 2044 team.
Be like that old man Shaq. Like, this game stinks, man. You look at these guys have no idea what it was like. We couldn't get away with that in flag football. That's a penalty back then. Now you can do whatever you want. By the way, something just came across my Twitter feed that just made my day. Find out what it is next. Yes. Oh,
The NBA playoffs. By the end, you might not have a ring on your finger. Stay tuned and you'll have a little something in your pocket. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. NBA playoffs tonight, Western Conference Final Game 1. The Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Oak City finished the regular season with the best record in the league at 68-14. Wednesday night, Eastern Conference Final Game 1. The Knicks playing host to the Pacers. The NHL Eastern Conference Final gets underway tonight with the Carolina Hurricanes playing host to the Florida Panthers. Florida's the defending Stanley Cup champion. It's their third consecutive conference final and a rematch of the 2023 Eastern Conference Final, which Florida swept in 4 games over Carolina. The Panthers routed the Maple Leafs 6-1 on Sunday in Game 7 to advance. Carolina's been off since last Thursday when they beat the Capitals 3-1 to sweep that series in 5 games. The Western Conference Final starts tomorrow with Dallas playing host to Edmonton. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2025 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 7/2025. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Ah, springtime. When a young man's fancy turns to...
Get your mind out of the gutter.
For sports gaming strategies and information that gives you an unfair advantage, you'll find it all right here.
It's the winning edge.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Yeah, by the way, we're about to have 12 or 11 on 11 flag football here. Jared Verse, maybe Myles Garrett rushing the passer. You do have guys rush the passer, so I got to get caught up on flag football to see how it's going to go down. Like, we know the general, like, hey, you got to flag and touch them, but a lot of intricacies here and a lot of really good players that might have to miss camp. I'm sure NFL teams are, but again, they're all about the dollar signs until their player gets injured, so we'll see what it is. But there you go, Kevin. 2028 NFL players, looks like they'll be there. So I'm trying to read the Olympics flag football rules as it goes. Yeah, 5 players on each team. 5 players on each team on the field.
Can I give you, you know what I just realized?
What do you got?
You know what I just realized? The biggest lock to make this team?
Mm-hmm. Who?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, it's true. Yep. He'll love it too. He'd campaign for it. Like, that's big.
It might be in his contract already that he gets to play in the Olympics.
Yep.
He might be the number 1 draft pick.
Yep, he probably is. Be right in the middle, like just getting started in his prime, a couple years down the road. Big time superstar, goes both ways. Yep, that's the way to do it here. You got to get like maybe Cooper DeJean, maybe DB out there. You know what I mean? A couple years, national star, locking people down, people trying to route him up. But anyway, Kevin, I got to get to this next topic.
Yeah, what do we got?
We can spend all the time. Sometimes I like to pick on organizations, and every time I do, they usually prove me right. Can you name the one organization that I picked on more than any other for the past, I don't know, since you've known me?
So the one that comes to mind.
NFL.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that has to be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, yes.
Can I just tell you quickly?
Go ahead.
I was going to guess the Miami Marlins. But once you told me it was NFL, I knew where we were going. Because the Marlins stuff is good.
right on the same time, Plath. Now, I've grown up and heard all the stories about the Bengals of how they're unbelievably cheap. You have to be a member of the Brown family to have any sort of rights in that organization. If there's 30 Brown family members, they all work there. They're all in the front office. And the only income that they get feels like it's from the football team. And they play in a smaller market, always hold things up in the NFL to get things to go in their right direction, hold the city hostage for this and that. Never had a true like practice facility because they didn't want to pay for one. Maybe they couldn't get a sponsor for it in town. You had to buy your own socks with that team. You had to buy your own drinks. And even till this day, you hear about the news like, hey, man, I show up like in the offseason to work out and you don't have food for us. We got to pay for it. Like that's the organization in a nutshell. But they've always done so many fun things where Katie Blackburn, I believe, is the daughter of Mike Brown, I want to say. And the name is different because she obviously got married. But I do believe that's the president / like general manager. And she sometimes does the contract negotiations. And Andre Smith, who came out of Alabama, this had to be, 10, 15 years ago, drafted, I don't know, number 7, but they feel like they reached up for him and he should have went 15th. So the argument between them at the time was, before they had the slotted contracts, was, well, we think you're 15th, we drafted you 7th. And the agent's like, yeah, you drafted me 7th, pay me like the 7th. Now we think you're more 15th. Like that's how, the introduction to the simple terms of how they do business. Now, NFL contracts, Kevin, are slotted now. Like your first round pick, this is what the NFL did, and smartly so. Hey, look, don't try to negotiate with the player before the draft. Here's exactly what they're going to make every single year, 1 through pick 32. You're slotted. You can't make any more. You're probably not going to make any less, of course. And it's guaranteed. And it's just sign this paper, get in the camp. You know what you make, right? So now the news comes out. Jordan Schultz puts this out. Bengals first round defensive end Shamar Stewart will remain sidelined as they go into phase 2 of the offseason workouts beginning today due to a disagreement over contract language in his rookie deal. We are copy and paste contracts, Kevin. But here's the Bengals probably like, yeah, but in your 3rd year, if we don't want to pay your 4th year, this is going to happen. It's no, give me the standard contract. I loved when I just saw that because that just shows you over some stipulation of if you get sick and it's not our fault, we don't want to pay you. Something like that probably popped up. Mm-hmm. It's this is asinine, but this hit home so well. I love to see it. A player on the Bengals not going to be in camp because a standardized contract, the Bengals wanted to alter that. Love it. I love it.
And it's actually really funny because I think sometimes you see that stuff and what's this player asking for? But if it's dealing with the Cincinnati Bengals, you have to just assume it's their fault.
Yes.
And also, what a great start to the relationship, right? This guy they thought is going to come in. He's supposed to replace Trey Hendrickson, who they now have an unbelievable problem on their hands with. They are so terribly ran, it doesn't feel real.
And the shame of it is, too, is sometimes, again, when you're a bad organization, you fall into high draft picks. like Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, like boom, boom, bang, bang, like just fell into our laps. Now, they did sign him, so they give him a little bit of credit. Like, okay, Joe Burrow, we're going to keep you in town. Your 2 top wide receivers are in town. But if you are like, you like come into the draft and it's like, hey, man, most kids at the top of the draft, like, let me just get a good organization. Like, I'm a quarterback. Give me a really good coach, a solid organization, and I'll be able to learn from it. And sometimes you get drafted to teams like, I just don't want to be here. Like, when you go be a Bengal, the number one choice is, it's like, hey, you're going to make money because that's what NFL players do. But understand this. They have you over the barrel there. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about how it works out in the offseason, how it works out for the regular season. Like when you are a really good player in your third year and you want to get your new contract extension, they will tell you to pound sand and play for your contract. No other good organization does that because they understand that having a happy, young, talented franchise player and paying them sooner than later is good for business. The Bengals do the opposite. So the fact that, yes, like getting off in the right direction, like I can't believe they're holding it up. Like, let's just say, I don't know, 17 other players have the same contract. They're all happy in camp. I have the same contract. The Bengals like, I don't care that if you twist your ankle in a preseason game, you're not going to get your roster bonus in a regular season game because you twisted your ankle working out for us. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I would love to see like what the contract language actually is and what they're holding up because it's probably something so stupid that I would love to find out what it is.
I'd like to sit in a room and just watch someone explain to the Cincinnati Bengals what the Atlanta Braves did with their guys. Yeah. Of be like, a good season, let's immediately lock them up for 8 years on these incredible discounts and just watch Cincinnati's heads explode. Like, what? You didn't run it down to the last second of arbitration? What are you doing? That's crazy.
You're going to get year 4 out of Jamar Chase where only made $800,000, but off to no end and playing more money than God after that? What? We'll be right back.
We don't care what your high school girlfriend told you. You are a winner. Or at least you will be if you keep it here. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
For anyone who's worried about back taxes, has not filed tax returns, and doesn't know what to do next, stop and listen. Not filing your taxes can have severe consequences, especially in this political climate. Now that COVID is over, the IRS is getting aggressive, massively increasing enforcement and collection efforts. With politicians making all sorts of promises, especially when it comes to taxes, hiding and not dealing with your taxes will cause you harsh legal and financial ramifications. But right now, the IRS offers forgiveness and writes off a massive amount of tax debt. The Tax Doctor offers a free service that helps people get out of IRS collections and back in good standing with the government. Don't hide or bury your head in the sand. Take advantage of our free service. Call now to learn more. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. That's 800-816-4492.
Football full circle.
It's the Philadelphia Eagles right now, and they're winning games, and they're winning in dominant fashion. When you rip off 15 or 16 wins like they did towards the end of the regular season into the playoffs and dominate the Kansas City Chiefs the way they did, shows preparation, shows the ability to game plan. I don't know what more you can ask for.
It's Football Full Circle with Ben Stevens and Joe Lisi. Weekdays, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. If you want to be an alpha, you've got to get the winning edge. It's kind of a necessary ingredient if you want to lead the pack. So mark your territory with the winning edge. You're in the big leagues. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
By the way, Doug Kleiman here, one of the biggest aggregators out here, or agitators, I probably should say, out here on the Twitter sphere. Rumors, Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel will take the 1 and 2 reps for the Browns when OTAs begin, per Mary Kay Cabot. How about that? Sanders upset about that, Kevin? Or do they have to do that? They had no matter how it turns out, they had to do that. So the general manager's like, no, hold on now. Kenny Pickett's taking number one snaps, and Shedeur Sanders is 2. Why'd you draft Dillon Gabriel? Like they had to do that.
Wait, what did they do? What did they do again? What did
Kenny
Big
Pickett
Man
and
Dell
Dillon
say?
Gabriel will be Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel will be number 1 and number 2 when the Browns open up OTAs.
But Flacco's starting, so what are they doing?
And it said in terms of battling order in team drills, it'll likely be Pickett and Gabriel 1 and 2, then Flacco and Sanders splitting the 3s.
The expectation in the market, Donnie, and from a lot of people is that the starting quarterback on that team is going to be Joe Flacco.
Which would be the stupidest decision I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. Like, that just shows the stupidness of that organization. Let these young kids, put it this way, if Flacco starts or not, or anybody starts, are they having a good season? I don't think so. What is the point?
Right. Yeah. Yes, I have no. To me, Pickett though is what they need to do is get all their riders to say how great Pickett's been in camp. That way they can trade Kenny Pickett before camp breaks.
Back to the
because it's just nonsense. Like Pickett's not going to be the guy. Here's the thing. He couldn't do it because the fallout would have been otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
But Shedeur should have tried to find a way to decline the Browns drafting him.
Oh.
It was literally the worst possible spot for him to go. The Browns trading up in front of the Eagles, seemingly, to stop the Eagles from taking him, is the worst possible thing that could have happened to Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Shedeur would have been QB3 on the Super Bowl champions. Battling Tanner McKee, nobody cares. Nobody cares because he has no chance to start because Hurts is the quarterback. And now he goes to Cleveland. He's on a circus 4-man QB rotation where he might get cut. Again, I know if he would have, Donnie, hit the trade request button, like it would have been crazy with the way that all played out. But he really should have said, you had 100 other chances to draft me. You've literally taken a quarterback in this draft already. Please do not take me. I am begging you. I would rather go undrafted at this point than be a Cleveland Brown.
Do you remember similar was that La'el Collins for the Cowboys, where he was like in like a murder investigation where he could have been drafted like high as like the first round or second round. And he's like, I'm not signing with anybody. I'm going to pick my spot. And he went to the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody got angry. Like, they get this guy who's now, cleared at this point as a first round pick, as an unsigned free agent or undrafted free agent. That probably would have been better. Like, let me pick my spot. I don't care what the numbers are. I'm not going to make any money really as a 5th round pick, 6th round pick, or 7th. Sign me there. If I make the team, I get the standard pay, $800,000, for the season, $900,000 for the season as a rookie, and I'll try to make my way. But at least I'll be with an organization. I got to pick and look at the depth chart. It is a horrible depth chart what they did, because I don't think anybody would have been mad, Kevin, again, if its roles got reversed. Shedeur in the 3rd, Dillon Gabriel in the 5th. Shedeur wouldn't have said, like, that's ridiculous. You took a pick. They say, you know what? We're covering our bases. We got value in the 5th round. We still think you're better. But now you're trying to fight the notion of, well, Shedeur, we do think you're better, but why didn't you draft me high? They have no answers. So this is how they have to play it. Like, hey, we drafted him 5th. So, coaches usually tell us, doesn't matter once you get into camp, Kevin, where you're drafted. It's a competition. Those guys never got drafted, people. How about that?
Of course, of course it matters where they got drafted, because you would imagine that they took the guy who they think is better before they took the guy that they drafted after him.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it matters. Again, like that, you seem to be certainly understanding where I'm coming from, which is good, because then I don't think that people will then be thinking I'm crazy for what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shedeur going to Cleveland is a flat out disaster, and there's a clip, and no one's ever talked about this. He got the phone call from Cleveland. Did you watch the video?
No, I don't think I did.
So many people talked about the Browns' reaction, da-da-da-da-da. At the very end of it, Shedeur's on the phone with them, right? Mm-hmm. And at the very end, as Shedeur's about to go off and celebrate with everyone, Dion asks for the phone and says, can I speak to Mr. Barry, I think, and the GM.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I think he talks to the GM. And I want to know what that conversation was more than any draft conversation.
Will we ever find out? Probably not. For JP behind the wheels of steel, Donnie Whiteside, and Kevin Walsh. We'll see you tomorrow.
of living. Actionable insights, analysis, odds, and expert perspective on sports gaming.